Welcome to another Hero Arts video. Today I'm going to show you how to make an instant book. I think instant books are really neat because they can truly be made in an instant. Here's one that I made of a recent vacation. I first learned about instant books from this book called How to Make Books by Esther K. Smith. This is a really neat book, and she shows you how to make a whole bunch of different kinds of books besides just the instant book. Okay, so now let's talk about what supplies you'll need. You'll optionally need a bone folder and a pair of scissors, and the only thing you truly need is a piece of paper. So I like to save paper from maps or menus. These all work great for instant books. But for the book that I showed you, I used this plainish kind of piece of scrapbook paper. You want a piece of scrapbook paper that lets you stamp on it. So you want to look for a pattern that it's kind of pushed into the background or isn't very busy. But to show you how to make the instant book, I got this paper because it's two-sided and it's really obvious the differences between the two sides, so you'll be able to see it while we're doing the book. Okay, let's get started. You'll want to start out by deciding which side of the paper you want to be the outside of your book, and then put it face down on your work table. Then go ahead and fold the paper right in half. If you have a bone folder, you can go over the fold with the bone folder, but if you don't, just press it with the back of your fingernail. Now open up your paper and fold it in half the other way. Here's a little tip from Esther's book. If your paper is thicker the way the scrapbook paper is, you can leave about 1/8 of an inch on the edge instead of folding it exactly in half. This will make it where your pages will all line up when it's finished. Now go ahead and fold it in half again and do your bone folder or your fingernail to crease it. Okay, now you have a decision to make. See this fold right here? We're going to want to open that up to this fold that we just created. And so you're going to want to either tear along that fold or cut it with scissors. Personally, I like tearing it because I think it gives it a nice distressed edge. Plus it's really easy to tear since we made the good crease. Okay, now for the moment of magic when this piece of paper will turn into a book. Ta-da! Don't worry if you didn't exactly catch that because I'll show it to you again in slow motion. Okay, let's see that again in slow motion, or as slow as I can make it. Okay, here's the part where we tore it out, or you could have used scissors if you wanted to. Now I'm going to open it back up so you can see it from the top. I'm just grabbing the sides and pushing it in. And then you fold the one side around the other, and there's your book. Hope that helped. It really is an instant book. It's hard to do it in slow motion. It's so fast. Now you can get your bone folder and go over all the creases again just to make it nice. And there you have it. Okay, now I thought I'd share some more tips. Before you make a book on good paper, go ahead and make it on just copy paper that's been printed on, and then you can write the page numbers on there so you can kind of get a feel for how the book will work. And here's another little tip. If you make your book on 8.5 by 11 size paper, then when you're finished you can take it to a copy shop and make copies. This is perfect for holiday newsletters. Okay, now for another tip. Remember how we tore the top of the book part instead of using scissors? Well, to make the rest of the book match, you can use one of these distress tools. Just go around the edge. This one is by Tonic for Tim Holtz. If you don't have one of these distress tools though, you can still distress your edges just using regular scissors. Just be extra careful that you don't cut yourself when you do that. Now I thought I'd share some books that Esther's students made. The first one is by Polly Faust, and I just love it. She used scissors to cut the top of her book, so you can see how that looks. And I also wanted to show you how the quotes background stamp fits perfectly on a book if you make it out of 8.5 by 11 size paper. This Write Your Message stamp is another one that fits perfectly. And then I thought I would open up her book so that you could see what it looks like when the whole thing is stamped. Thanks, Polly. Now here's a book by Jen King. I just love how she used the big owl on all of her pages, and I especially like how she stamped him sideways. Too cute. And here's another instant book by another one of Esther's students, Laura Carmelita Belmont. Love that one too. Finally, I thought I'd share some tips I learned while I was making my vacation book. I started out by making a prototype on 8.5 by 11 copy paper, and here you can see the difference between that and the 12 by 12. I wanted to have lots of room for journaling and lots of room for photos, so I stamped the journaling block on part of the page, and then I used the rest of the space to make these little accordion fold booklets where I added the photos. And that's just a little pull made with our new antique brads and ribbon. And then I wanted to share how I stamped this limited edition stamp on the back of my book. I just used Memories ink and it stamped right on the photo just fine. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and hope we've inspired you to create your own instant book.